Good morning. Welcome to A Life Worth Living. I'm Frederick Groth, and I truly believe God has a plan for everyone, including you. And I have a message of hope and truth to show you a life worth living. So, Genesis chapter 24, a great chapter. Story of Abraham sending his trusted servant away to find a wife for his son. The local girls were too much into the wrong things, and so Abraham sent away his servant to find a proper wife for his son. Now, even though this chapter is about a servant finding a wife for his master's son, that's not what this chapter is about. Let's look at this a little differently. Let's look at this in the light of leadership. See, Abraham had been following God for many years. He was over 100 years old, and he had followed God for 80 years, 75, 80 years. And his servant, his trusted servant, had watched Abraham follow the ways of God. He'd watched him seek the face of God. He'd watched him entertain God. He'd watched him intercede on the behalf of Sodom and Gomorrah. He'd watched him through all of his trials and temptations, always trust in the plan of God. And Abram's leadership of all the people that were under his care, and he had a nation under his care. Abraham was so big that some small nations made pacts with him so that Abraham wouldn't take them over. This is how rich and big Abraham's nomadic tribe was. And he was the head of this. But his people watched his leadership. And so this servant goes to back to the land from whence he came to find a good wife. And his servant follows Abraham's example. See, in this life, being told something, being taught something, being forced to do something only goes so far. We really need good example leadership. Leadership that leads by example. We need leadership where people are doing what they preach. They're following through on their beliefs. They're not just out there telling you all this mumbo jumbo, but not actually living it. There's nothing worse than meeting someone who has all these great ideas, but actually doesn't do any of them. And so, I challenge you today, in a life worth living, we need to be example leaders. We need to lead by example. When we find a belief system and we stick to it, we become an example leader. See, we don't necessarily need someone else telling us something new. What we need is somebody doing what they say that we should do. Follow by example. Lead by example. And so I challenge you this morning, whatever you believe in, really do it. If I've impacted you in some way, do it. Don't just sit on this knowledge. Don't just sit on this truth. Do something about it and lead by example. Go out into this world and show people it works. And when people see that you live by your beliefs, they will follow you and live by your beliefs. God bless you. Have an amazing day. And go and live a life worth living. It's right there in front of you. Now do it. Have an amazing day. God bless you.